3, 2, 1.
Here we go!
Hey everybody, welcome to the milestone episode 50 of the Let's Dig In podcast with myself, Chef Rich Rosendell. Today, we have a guest who's ready to take us on a journey into the future of culinary arts. Let's roll out the red carpet for Jackson Fu from Segway Robotics. As we sit on the cusp of a new era where technology is seamlessly blending with gastronomy, Jackson is going to be our guide. He's really at the forefront of revolutionizing the way that we experience dining, bringing innovative service bots into the kitchen and restaurants. In this episode, we're going to take a glimpse of the horizon of food tech, discuss evolving roles of service bots, and explore the challenges and opportunities that they represent to our industry. So fasten your seatbelts as we venture into the intriguing world of robotics in the culinary realm with Jackson Fu. I'd like to take a moment to express our gratitude to the generous sponsors who make the show possible. First off, we've got Waring Commercial. They're known for high-performance, large-volume food processors and blenders. They're all about making your time in the kitchen more efficient and enjoyable. We can't thank them enough for their continuous support. And then next, I want to thank DryAger. They're an innovative dry aging technology that transforms the way that we handle and taste meat. If you're seeking to elevate your culinary game, DryAger's products are a must-have in your kitchen. And also, lastly, but definitely not least, our appreciation goes out to Steelite International. Their commitment to quality, innovation, and style in a tabletop solutions have made every meal an experience to remember for our team and all of our restaurants. From elegant glassware to stylish cutlery, Steelite truly enhances our dining experiences. These are the companies that share our passion for culinary arts, and they help us to continue our mission of bringing you engaging, thought-provoking content. Thank you, Waring Commercial, DryAger, Steelite International for your incredible support to the Let's Dig In podcast. Now, let's dig in on this exciting episode of the Let's Dig In podcast. All right, well, Jackson, hey, thanks for coming on the Let's Dig In podcast. I wanted to talk about, there's been a lot of discussion and emails over the several weeks about implementing this robot into Roots, our restaurant. And of course, I put a post on social media and I got lots of comments and people really curious. So I figured, who better to come on and explain and talk about the robot and how it works than yourself. So I invited Jackson Fu, who I've been emailing back and forth, obviously working with the rest of the team to get this deployed and it's up and running. So Jackson, if you can maybe just tell us about yourself, about Segway Robotics, what it is that you do, and then we'll kind of get into some of the questions about the actual robot itself.
Yeah, totally. Sure. Thank you for having me here, Richard. So my name is Jackson Fu. I work for Segway. So basically, Segway is the Segway a lot of people heard about. We have a lot of scooters on the street. We have the self-balancing vehicle. Not until like about 2 years ago, I joined this separate department in Segway. It's the Segway Robotics. So what I do, so my personal role in Segway Robotics is I'm responsible for all the business development here in the States and also in the Europe, the whole, European countries. So we have 3 different products, but most of the products are related to the hospitality and restaurant industry. So the first product you probably see is the one behind me. It's the outdoor delivery robot. So if you go to California, if you go to Minnesota, Texas, you will see those little cute robots running on the street, on the sidewalks, deliver food, pizza, all the ordering. We're working with a lot of companies right now, like DoorDash, Coco Delivery, GoGo Delivery, and another company up there in Minnesota. It's called Carbon Origin to deliver, local orders.
Okay.
So this is for outdoor purpose only. And we also have a indoor service robot, which has been deployed in Roots. And I bet it has raised a lot of eyeballs. Last time I went there, a lot of kids were trying to take a picture with it. So yeah. So the indoor robot is more like the food runner in the restaurant. It basically brings foods from the kitchen to the table. Just kind of a substitution of the waiters. And This is the technology that we used from the Segway self-balancing vehicle. It used 3D mapping system, and also it has like 360 vision system that can detect all those tables and customers and be able to tell where the tables are. And sometimes it has like very cool features. For example, if the customer is celebrating the birthday, the robot will be able to tell, whose birthday is that and sing a birthday song. And it has like all other cool features like greeting features and cruising mode and party mode, etc. So all those features you need to spend some time, to explore that. So right now we have around 2,500 server robot around this world, mostly in Asian countries. But this is actually the first year that we come to States, and probably people don't see a lot of like a server robots running in this restaurant, but hopefully people will love that idea. And definitely, I know I don't know if that's the thing that I should mention about that, but American restaurant culture is really like heavily based on tips and service.
Yes.
Yeah, the idea for the robot is to free people from like basic jobs, handling food and deliver food. And also for some like the fast food restaurant, sometimes people don't really want the service and don't really want to go with the tip. So the robot definitely would be something very sufficient for fast food restaurant. We are working with Burger King right now, and we are talking with Chick-fil-A right now. So hopefully sooner or later you will see our robots running in those the fast food chain restaurant.
Wow.
Yeah.
So and then there was a third one as well.
Yes, the third one is more like a development kit for all the software developers that they want to build their it's more than like a prototype. It's the third product is the chassis.
Right.
If you see the robot back there, so
Right.
basically we use that chassis and the the upper body to combine them together as a robot. It's a product, but the third product line is more like we call it developer kit. So we sell out the chassis. For example, there are some software developers and some entrepreneurs. They want to build up like other robots based on the mobility capability, the mobility of Segway chassis. So, for example, we have a client up there in San Francisco. They want to build this tour guide robot. So they bought a bunch of our chassis and put on their like a 360-degree camera on it and with a microphone. So the robot will be able to, guide people around. It's been mostly used in like a convention shows and museum, etc.
Wow. So another thing that you hear a lot these days is with the term AI. Does this robot, is that a big component of the robot, the AI technology?
Yes. So the Segway robot actually has some AI feature, but are very basic AI features. For example, with time going by, the robot will learn the route itself and will learn, the surroundings of it by itself. For example, if you move around the table, it takes some time for the robot to learn,
of course,
right? All the settings. But let's say after 3 months, you want to change the setting of the tables, then the robot will be able to tell which table it is, because you have to label the table for different numbers. But if you change the location of the table, for some in the past, that the robots won't be able to tell where the tables are, right? Because they change the location. But for recently, those super smart robots with the AI features, they will be able to tell the shape of the table, the color of the table, and then they can switch their route with the different location of the table.
Wow.
So that's some basic AI technology that we use. And also another thing is that the autonomous feature that is like a auto cruising around the restaurant. So you don't need somebody to sit behind the robot to control the robot with a joystick.
Right.
Yeah. So it actually learns the route, and can avoid like the obstacles in front of it or avoid those people who is walking in front of it. It can just choose the best way or best route or most efficient route to, to go to the restaurant or no, to the back kitchen and to the table. Save a lot of time.
And Jackson, a lot of people were curious as to how it's being used at Roots. Like people are like, does it do this? Does it do that? Mm-hmm. So what's the prep as far as getting it ready to deploy in Roots? I mean, do you have to walk it through setting up like, okay, here's the layout of the place. Do you have to put any other kinds of things in the building? And when you say it's like a runner, it doesn't take orders, right? It basically is going to come to the kitchen. It's queued to come to the kitchen. People are saying, hey, this is table 51. Like how does that whole process actually work as far as what it actually does in the restaurant?
Yeah, that's a good question. A lot of people ask me, how long does it take you, to set up the whole robot? A lot of people think that it would probably take me a day or so to set up a robot, but the fact is not it's not the fact. Actually, I only spent like 10 minutes to deploy the robot in Roots.
Wow.
So basically, there is one thing that I need to do is that I need to place a tag on the top of the ceiling. So the tag serves as the home base of the robot. So the robot, I don't know have you ever used the cleaning robot Roomba, right?
Yeah.
It has like a home base. It's more like a docking station.
Right.
So we don't have a docking station, but our docking station is actually on the ceiling. That actually saved a lot of places for the restaurant, right? We don't need to. It's like a physical docking station against the wall, whatever, to to occupy that space. Yes. So the robot has a camera on top of it. It will be able to tell, this is the home base of the robot. So every time the robot cruising around, it will just cruise around, around this area, and it won't go out of the boundary.
Wow.
So to set up the robot, I need to place the tag, as I said, on the top of the ceiling. And after recognize that the tag, I will just push the bot, to create a boundary for the robot, just making sure the robot is running within the boundary.
Right.
Yes. So everything else within the boundary, I will handle that to the robot. So the robot will learn everything. Will learn the setting of the tables. Will learn, people who is walking around, and we'll learn where's the pickup side for the food, and we'll learn where the tables are at.
Wow.
So everything else, I would just give that to the robot. But it takes some time for the robot to learn. Sometimes a week, sometimes a month. It depends on, how busy the restaurant is and how crowded the restaurant is.
And is there any interaction with like the actual robot and the staff where it's like, can you take this to this table, or is it prompted on a screen or something? So the kitchen has food, it's supposed to go out to a certain table. Like how does that actually work? Yeah.
So think about it. It's just like a tablet, with the Android running on the robot. So the robot will pump out a icon or a button telling people that, hey, the food is ready. And, it's just some, click and go for the staff.
Okay.
Yeah, so the staff, it's really easy for the staff to operate on the robot. So let's say the robot is standing there at the pickup side, near the kitchen. And when the staff come out with the food, place the food on it on the tray, and he or she can just press the button. Hey, the food is here. Go to table number 1, number 2, number 3. Wow. And I already labeled all the table out. So I remember in Roots, we have 5 tables right now served by the robots. So you can tell, the customer is at table 1, so you can just go to table 1. Then the robot will just bring the food over there.
Wow.
Yeah, and when the customer receive the food, the only thing needs the customer to do is to hit the button. Food is picked up. Then the robot will go back by itself.
Wow. Well, and we did have there were a few people kind of questioning on some of the social media posts. They were like, asking about, oh, it takes the personal touch away, and it's taking jobs and stuff like that. But I can tell you in the restaurant industry, it's hard to recruit, and we want to be able to offer more higher compensation, highly skilled jobs, being able to give people a better experience. And there are a lot of these other things that kind of have to be done in a restaurant, but it's not necessarily where it's the best use of your time. So for us, the embracing some of the technology as a restaurateur, I see a tremendous amount of value in it. And I also think that it is kind of cool, for a customer to kind of come in and just experience that. It's not something that you see every day. Where do you see this in, like, 3, 5, 10 years down the road? I mean, how much do you, or how quickly do you think that a lot of this industry is going to get integrated in our just day-to-day life? Like, do you think it's going to be even, only a couple of years, or do you think it's going to take like 4 or 5 years? Yeah. And what I mean by that is, do you see like people having robots in their houses more, as like kind of a normal thing? And do you see this in at Walmart or at Costco? Where do you see the runway with this and the timeline?
That's a very good question, and a lot of people have like a huge debating on. It's like a battle between AI and human labors. So
Right.
definitely, I would say in the future, more and more robot will be used in all areas of the different industry. Let's say restaurant, right? So you have mentioned about that during the pandemic, it's really hard to hire staff, right? Hire waiters during the pandemic, and the labor cost is going up and up. It's getting crazier. So and also because of the pandemic, a lot of restaurants try to avoid the contact service, right, with the customers. So I think robot would definitely be the substitute at some point, to help people solve some problems. For example, if a restaurant if a person want to operate the restaurant at a very low cost, so I think definitely robot would be something that the owner would think about, right? But we never sell the robot, for example, to like a Michelin restaurant, right? Because service is something that they sell.
Right.
So I would say in the future, a robot definitely will be a helper to humans, but never take over, our position, or, and also the robot is there, to help people, free people's hands from like a daily jobs, and to do some like more creative jobs, and to make more monies, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
that's our ultimate goal. And you mentioned about like in the future, do we see a lot of more and more robots will be used at home? I would say yes. If you watch the recent news that Elon Musk, right, from Tesla, he created this humanoid robot that has really been the train like for how robots should be look like in the future. So that's definitely something would happen. I would say not too long, from now. I would say
Right.
maybe after 3 to 5 years, you will
Wow.
see humanoid robots that helping out with your gardening, cleaning, etc. Even for example, our robots, the server robot, the S1 that's been used at Roots, restaurant actually is not the only application that we are seeing, for those robots right now. A lot of our robot, not a lot, but I would say 1/3 of the robots are being used as senior housing.
Wow.
Yes, because you go to senior house, they really have like a staff shortage at that, at those kind of applications. And robot definitely can be the substitute of, free people's hand out of, just mundane jobs, etc. Right? For example, we have several robots up there in New Jersey in a senior housing. Those senior people, they love the robots. The robot will like constantly chat with them with a
Wow.
lot of, like what do you want for for today, what food do you want, what's your interest, what's your favorite sports, what's your favorite movie. Sometimes the senior people will talk about the movie we have never seen, right?
Right.
Yeah, but robot knows everything.
Wow.
Yeah, so you mentioned the chat GPT, right?
Yes.
So I would say ChatGPT definitely is a breakthrough technology because I don't want to say it's a software, but it's more like a algorithm.
Okay.
Use the most efficient information that the system can gather, from the internet, and
Wow.
it will learn, your interest, it will learn your nature, and then it will give out the conversation that you want to listen. So a lot of
Wow.
people said ChatGPT in the future, near future, I would say probably within several months or a year, like, a lot of jobs will be taken over by ChatGPT, for example, like a writer's job or like a lawyer's job. I'm
Really?
not saying
Wow.
like some complex job, but complicated jobs, but like a easy jobs, to write a letter or to write like a some legal document, etc.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mhm.
Well, and I've heard a lot of people talking about like where some task like accounting,
Mhm.
you might see people kind of transition into maybe being a tax consultant, or so their roles kind of change, but the actual adding up and putting all of the numbers and everything together, it could be done more efficiently and probably more accurately
Yeah.
by a robot. So that's pretty interesting.
Yeah,
Um,
an accountant can only learn something right from school, and they always have a limitation. But for the robot or for the software, it has no limitation. It has all the data and all the models from all over the world, right?
wow.
So it definitely gives you the best solution ever.
The what about the delivery one? Is that something that you ever have to worry about people like messing with it or anything when it's out on a delivery?
Yeah, that happened a lot when we deployed
Really? Okay.
robot in California, right? A lot
Like,
of
oh, a pizza.
yeah, they tried to steal the pizza from the bar. They tried to, a lot of vandalism happened to the bar. So,
Wow.
after several generations of the bar, we actually made the robot really rigid, and it's served for heavy duty. In the past, the robot is really cute, because
Yes.
people would love it. And we made we used like a plastic material for the cover, making sure the robot is not heavy. But that's not the truth, when we really deploy the robot, homeless people, they take a free ride on the bar and they try to steal the pizza from the bar. A lot of things happen.
Yeah.
So this is the third generation, the robot, and you can tell it's not the cutest. It's not as cuter as its predecessor. And this one is made of metal box. It's totally like a metal frame on it, and we have like a electromagnetic locker for the bot, so no one would be able to access the bot unless the operator behind the bot send a commander to the bot like, okay, now you can open the lead. So it's been really safe, and we are trying to increase the range of the bot. So in the past, the bot can only serve a radius of 3 to 5 miles, but now the robot can run up to 60 miles, that far.
Wow.
So delivery from one city to another. So basically,
Wow. Unbelievable.
yeah.
I can imagine too that this is probably like a really promising field even for young people as they're kind of considering different things to get into. It seems like there's so much growth and runway with robotics, and so many areas that it can kind of be impacted into. So yeah, that seems like something that could be a really good opportunity. We also asked a lot of people online and also some of the staff for a name for the robot at Roots, and I think what was it, Rootsy?
Rootsy, yes.
Yeah, that was a good one. There were
Pretty
some pretty
yeah.
yeah, there were some other good ones. Roots name, the restaurant is Roots 657. Somebody put RD 657. Somebody put Root Bot. So there was some really creative ones. But yeah, I think Rootsy is what we ultimately arrived at. So
Yeah, I mean,
well,
no matter what name you call the robot would be just the robot, It has
yeah.
no mood, it has no anger. It always serve you, provide you the best service all the time.
And does it need to be charged at the end of the shift?
Yes. So we recommend the robot to be charged like every day after the operation hours. So the charging hours would be 3 to 5 hours. Yeah, so
Okay.
after 5 hours charging, battery will be full and it will be sufficient for like just the whole day operation.
And also, are all three of these platforms now? These are things that you guys are selling to the businesses actively right now. I mean, it's not, you don't have to be a special. This isn't like a test or anything like that. You guys are selling these.
It's not a test anymore. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a mature product, off the shelf product, plug and play. So everything's ready. We have 24 hours customer service.
Wow.
So yep, just like you're buying the phone,
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you use it.
Jackson, where can people go to find out more about the robot?
Okay, so the robots actually we are not selling at the retail places.
Okay.
We're actually having this structure. We work with distributors in different areas. So the best way would be to contact our distributor and also our website, and you will be able to get more information on our website, where to get the robot, the price, and lead time, etc.
Very cool. Anything else that you want to add?
Not for now. Yeah.
Well, great, Jackson. This is really super informative. Like I said, we had a lot of people were kind of asking about it. I myself was curious. I mean, obviously, I saw it at the restaurant, but to really kind of, I'm just always fascinated. I mean, I love technology. I see how it's kind of made a lot of the things that we do in the restaurant industry better. I don't know if you're aware. You probably Merdad might have shared with you. We did the first ever drone delivery in Northern Virginia. Last year. We teamed up with Accelerate, a great organization, and they helped us do that. So this was kind of cool. It was like getting our own robot in Roots was kind of like continuing that innovation component that we have with in our industry. So we're really happy to be able to partner with Segway Robotics. And thanks for all your work and getting everything up and running. And really enjoyed talking with you today.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you for having me and having our robot in your restaurant.
Our pleasure. Thanks, Jackson.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Hey, everybody, as we wrap up another insightful episode of the Let's Dig In podcast, I want to extend my deepest gratitude to our fantastic guest today. Jackson's contributions have really kind of enriched the conversation and opened our eyes to new perspectives. So thank you very much for joining us on this journey. I also want to say again, just a huge thank you to our generous sponsors, Waring Commercial, Dry Ager, and Steel Light International. Their support and shared passion for culinary world really makes the podcast possible. So thank you guys so much. And also to our listeners, thank you for tuning in and being part of our culinary family. If you enjoyed today's episode, please make sure that you like, subscribe, and share our podcast. You can also find us wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. And for a more visual experience, don't forget to check out our video version on Rosendale Collective YouTube. Also, remember here at the Let's Dig In podcast, we're all about deep dives into leading chefs, innovators, and connecting with outside-of-the-box ideas. Stay tuned for more insightful episodes. And until then, keep exploring and stay hungry. This is Chef Rich Rosendale signing off. Keep cooking, keep learning, and we'll see you next time on the Let's Dig In podcast.